going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. Today I am hanging out just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, because this coming weekend is Blade Show. Blade Show runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will definitely be there the first 2 days. I'm not quite sure about Sunday yet, but if you are planning on attending and you see me walking around the showroom floor, make sure you stop me, say what's up, maybe show me what blade you're carrying in your pocket. I love meeting you guys and I love seeing things like that as well. I figured since I'm down here for Blade Show, I might as well do another knife review, one that I picked up sort of recently. You guys may have seen me open it in a mail time video maybe 2 weeks ago. I've only spent a little bit of time with this knife, but I have been carrying it every single day since I received it, and I already have some pretty good stories to go along with it. So today we are taking a look at the Protech TR-5. Protech's TR-5 line now comes with that hard-hitting action that most people expect when they handle a Protech knife. This is very similar in design to the TR-4, but the TR-5 offers pretty much the same thing but in a smaller, more pocket-friendly version. This version comes with their black anodized aluminum handle, a two-tone back spacer and lanyard attachment, and a deep carry tip-up pocket clip. The blade is made from a CPM S35 VN stainless steel, and this 501-AW version comes with their killer acid wash looking finish. There is a sliding safety lock which allows you to securely carry this thing in your pocket and prevent any accidental blade deployment. And this is definitely a knife that you do not want going off in your pocket because this thing fires harder than pretty much any automatic knife out there. The tactical response comes with a drop point blade profile and a flat grind, which is one of my favorite grinds out there. And another great selling point about these knives, in my opinion, is that they are completely made here in the United States of America. Now, if you guys watch the mail time video where I open this thing, you will probably already have a very good impression of what I think about it. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to carry it at first because my home state frowns upon automatic knives, dumb laws, but thankfully I am on a road trip right now, and in all of the states that I've been to and the states that I am staying in, automatic knives are completely legal. So this thing has pretty much been in my pocket since that video, and like I said, I have tested it pretty extensively, more than I do with some other knives, and I've also done some things to this thing that I'm not really proud of, but I will show you in this video. So first impressions, we got to talk about this action. The button is super easy to depress, but it's not easy enough that I think it would fire in my pocket. It definitely is important that they have this safety on here. When that thing is on, you cannot fire this. I simply slide that down, and then the button sits pretty much flush with the outer side of the handle scales, but there is a little bit of recess around there. That way when you press it down, this thing fires, and it fires super hard. Now, like I said, I love the blade profile. I also dig flat ground blades. They're great for slicing and dicing, and overall it is a very good grind for pretty much everyday use. The black anodized aluminum scales I thought at first might be a little bit too small, but this thing actually does feel right at home in my hand. There is no jimping on the back of the blade, but there is a little bit on the handle here, so depending on how you hold this thing, you can get a pretty firm grip no matter which way you're holding it. The handle is also contoured right here where your first 3 fingers lay, and then for your pinky there is some jimping along the front of the handle as well. As you can see, this thing rides super low in the pocket. I'm definitely a fan of deep carry pocket clips like that, and because the handles are so smooth, there really isn't a whole lot of texture to them other than the sort of sandy-like finish. This thing is not going to rip up your pockets. You can get it in and out of your pocket very, very easily. The action on this thing is phenomenal. It just fires so fast and hard. You really have to hold on to this thing so it doesn't jump out of your hand. Now, as far as the testing goes, I typically just carry EDC knives to open packages, and you guys know all of this stuff already. One thing that I did get to test with this thing, which is out of the norm, was stabbing an armor plate. Just pulling up the front, that's not going in it at all. I don't even want to do it any harder than that without gloves. Yeah, that's good, man. Knife is still solid. So there you guys saw, I took a few stabs at that plate and it did nothing to the plate, also it did nothing to the knife. The lockup is still super strong. There is virtually no blade play in this thing, and this is very difficult to see in the video, but that acid wash finish has no marking on it at all, and the blade tip is still super, super sharp. I thought with maybe stabbing that plate that it would kind of break off the tip a little bit or kind of just dull it down, but this thing is still pointy and razor sharp. Speaking of how sharp this thing is, I already cut myself with it. Probably like a few days after I opened it, I was cutting through a belt to size it. This thing was way sharper than I thought it was. It slipped right through the belt and it nicked my finger. Luckily, it did not do any damage. I just wrapped it up real quick. And it was one of those cuts that you see it happen and you can't feel it because the knife is so sharp, but you knew it was bad. It went into my finger and I went, oh no, that's probably gonna hurt. So I just kind of wrapped it up and it was good to go. But yeah, this thing comes super, super sharp out of the box. And now for the final trial that I put this thing through that I really did not mean to do was a water test. When I was stabbing the armor panel with this thing, I was also filming with my friend Mike in North Carolina, and we were out filming on his dock. I was trying to get some B-roll of an AK-47 and I needed it to prop up a certain way, so I kind of stuck this thing into the top railing of the deck just to kind of balance the gun. What I didn't realize is that on the other side of the dock there was grass, but in between the grass and the dock was about a 1.5 foot gap, and the rest is history. The AK fell, the knife took a tumble, and it went directly into the lake.
Is it shallow enough that you could reach down there with your arm on that ledge?
I mean, I could like get in the water, but I really don't want to do that.
Going deep.
What's that?
I said you're going deep.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Thank God, I thought that was gonna be way worse. Have them clean this because I'm not taking this apart. You filming that? I'm gonna need that for the review video. Oh man.
Epic.
It's a gift, I can't just leave it in the pond. Now luckily I got this thing back, like I said in the video. This was a gift to me from Protech, so I would have felt very bad if I could not get this back. This is actually an exclusive version with the acid wash finish. So as of right now, with my research that I've done, I don't think you are able to pick one of these up. You can still get the TR-5, but not this exact variant. And for the record, most of these knives are coming in at around the $200 mark depending on where you find them. If I can find any that are available, I will leave a link for them in the description down below. So this knife was in that water for about 15 minutes, just kind of sitting there. I had no idea where it was. When we got the flashlight out, I was very lucky because this thing landed on a ledge underneath the water about 2.5 feet down, and it was about the size of a curb. Once we got that super bright flashlight out, I saw this thing just sitting here right like this with a bunch of soot all around it. If it would have fallen off of that ledge, it probably would have went another 4 to 5 feet down and it would have been completely buried in soot and pretty much lost until the lake was drained or we found a magnet to fish it out. So you guys saw I climbed under the dock, I reached my arm all the way down in the water and I was able to pull this thing out. I did not take it apart. I really haven't done any maintenance on it since then. Basically, I let it air dry, I wiped it with a towel a little bit, and then I shook it as hard as I can to try to get any remaining moisture or water droplets out of the spaces between the tang of the blade and the actual handles. And then later that night, I just dropped some oil inside of that pivot, made sure that I moved the blade around to kind of coat everything nice and good. And as I'm looking inside of here, there is absolutely no rust anywhere. I thought maybe there would be some components in here that the water would mess this thing up, but fortunately for me, this thing is still super smooth, fires just as it did right out of the box, and I would definitely say that this thing passes the water test. So that has been my experience with the Tactical Responder for the past couple of weeks, and I have to say I'm definitely a big fan of it. I have to say it's not every day that someone sends you a knife as a gift and it completely encapsulates your style. The guys at Protech definitely were watching my channel and this thing suits my style perfectly. I love the knife and I'm going to be carrying it for the next couple of months if I had to guess. I'm definitely going to try to swing by their booth while I'm down here at Blade Show, and if you guys are around, I would suggest you do the same. They got a lot of killer knives, and there is a lot more than just the TR-5s. Maybe if there's something else you guys want to see in their lineup, you can let me know in the comments down below, and I will try to make something like that happen here in the future. So that's all that I got for today. If you guys have any questions on the TR-501AW, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want to see see more of the behind the scenes stuff, like when I dropped this in the lake, maybe some other pictures of this knife. And you can also keep up with my travels on there because I keep things pretty up to date as much as possible. Now that's all I got for today, so if you are new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week, and that is going to be all. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.